Good morning, guys. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to paint a really easy abstract painting. I mean, it's super easy and I hope you guys enjoy it. The longest part of this video is going to be waiting for paint to dry. So what I'm going to do when it's that point, I'm going to pause it, let my paint dry, and then come back and unpause so you guys can, so then we can move on, because it'll probably take maybe 10-15 minutes. That's why in the instructions I said to make sure you have a hair dryer. You want to put the hair dryer, you don't want to turn it on full blast because you'll make your paints go everywhere, unless you want that look. But once you get your paint on there and you're done with the whole background, take your hair dryer and high heat, low setting, do, back and forth, get it to dry, and you'll have it dry in probably like 2-3 minutes. So that's, you'll need a hair dryer. The other thing you guys are going to need, today I did 2 different ones. This one I did first. This is with paintbrush, doing the background. The other one is this one, and I used a sponge. And I like the sponge better than the paintbrush, so I'm going to be using a sponge. But if you guys want to use a paintbrush, you're going to need a good size, big paintbrush. Bigger if you have one. You're going to need water. Me personally, anytime we have vegetables, I save the tin cans. I have a ton of tin cans. That's what I use for my water. So you want to fill that and use that for your water. You're going to need at least 2 different colors of paint. 4 is good. I used 5 in this top one. I think I should have stuck with 4. This one actually is 4 different colors. These are the colors my son picked. So one's a lighter blue, the other one's supposed to be a darker blue, but they both look about the same. He said it looks like the earth. This one are the colors I chose, except for the orange. The orange I threw in at the very end, and I wish I hadn't. I wish I would have just left it with the other colors. But today I'm going to be using purple iris, parrot blue, yellow flame, and fuchsia. These are the colors my daughter picked. So I decided I'm going to do hers for the actual tutorial. We had a really hard time picking out colors. And yeah. So this is how we do it. Normally I would paint my canvas white and then put my colors on top. But with these I didn't do that, and they turned out pretty well. So you don't need to worry about having a painted canvas white. If you were doing neon colors, you could paint your canvas black and then just do splotchy. But then you'd have to go back and use a white paint pen or paint with a fine brush, or I don't even know if they make white Sharpies, but that's the other thing you're going to need. You're going to need black. I'm using a black Sharpie. Paint pens decided were a little bit too hard because I have the fine tipped ones and you need a thicker tip. So I'm using a Sharpie. You could use black paint and one of your thin paintbrushes, little tiny things to do detail, but if you want the smooth lines, use a Sharpie, or if you have thicker paint pens, use a thicker paint pen. And I think that's all we need. So we need a hair dryer, you need your paintbrush if you're going to use one, in water, paint pen if you're going to use it, or Sharpie, black Sharpie. I'm using a sponge, so I need a sponge. And yeah. So, just, it's a messy job. You're going to get messy. So make sure you've got a paint rag or paper towel. I use old shirts. I cut up old shirts after they're wholly and done, and that's what I use. Recycling, upcycling, I guess. And put your smock on. I'll put my smock on for you guys, just because, I always forget. So put my smock on. I really do have a smock. It actually matches my daughter's smock. My husband, when I was pregnant with her, he decided, we knew it was going to be a girl, and he decided we needed to have matching smocks, which I thought was pretty cute that he did that. So yes, I've got my lighthouse smock on, which is really my lighthouse apron, because I use it for baking and for painting. And yeah, so let's get to it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hold our board. I was doing this on the table, so I'm just going to use my little art table right here in front of me. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your paint and you're going to pour a little bit wherever you want your paint to be. And then you're going to take your paintbrush or your sponge, dry. Paintbrush, get wet a little bit and wipe it off. Sponge, totally dry. And you're just going to tap, 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 tap. Or paint. So I'll show you, I'll get my paint on there and then show you what it looks like. And then show you how I do it. So yeah, so now let's just do our paints, you guys. Let's get our paints on our board. Make sure you shake them up really good. They don't have to be this kind of paint. You can use these or even these little tiny, any kind of paint. I like the apple barrel paint. It dries fast. And it seems to be an okay quality, even though it's cheap. My favorite paints to use, though, are these Simply acrylics. They're hard to find, though. I think I got them from Walmart. But I really like those paints. Okay, so I'm starting with my fuchsia. I think I'm going to put my fuchsia down here in the corner. Just a little bit of fuchsia paint. That's about as much paint as I'm putting on. Can you guys see that? Just that much paint. It's not much. You don't need a whole lot of paint to do this. Then I'm going to go with yellow. These are spring colors that my daughter picked out. She decided, since it's springtime now, we needed to do springtime colors. So I said, okay, we'll do springtime colors. And it's okay if you put a little bit too much paint on, because then that means you're just going to have more color. That's what I did up here. I put too much paint on some of them, not enough on others. That's why it looks like it's all messy. But the one that looks like earth that's right behind my shoulder here, that one, it's like I did perfect amount of paints. And at first I was like, ooh, is it really going to look good with dark paint and then that gray? But it actually, I agree with my 6-year-old. He said it looked like the earth, and it really does kind of look like the earth. Okay, so here's my board. All 4 of my colors. And now I'm going to take my sponge. So what I did is I grabbed I had my husband pick up a bath sponge, the big ones, and I cut it into 4s. So now I'm going to put it back down on my table, and I'm going to take one of the flat sides, and I'm just going to dab, dab, dab. I think I'm going to start with the blue, and we're going to dab, dab, dab all that out. You're going to push down, Make sure you push down. And just bring it out as far as you want. You can also bring it out to where it doesn't have to be perfect, It's art. It doesn't have to be perfect. So if you can see how I did that, did the blue. So now blue's on that side. I'm going to switch, and I'm going to go with the next corner, which is the purple that I have. And then I'm going to switch, and I'm going to end up doing those. Or I might even grab another sponge. So here we go, we're purple's turn. Get it on my board better, my table better. Make sure you got a flat surface you're doing this on, because sometimes it just doesn't want to work if you don't. I'm going to go back with some of my blue over the top of the purple, blend it. Okay, now I'm going to go with my pink, my fuchsia. And remember, you don't want your paints to sit for too long because they will start to dry, and then it won't do what it's supposed to do. Now we go back. I'm getting dirty, you guys. It's all the fun of painting is you get to get dirty. And nobody can tell you not to. Yeah, bring some of your colors together so you've got a little bit of blending going on. Now I'm going to use a different sponge, I think, for my yellow because I can't really hold this anymore. There's still a little bit more pink in there though that I want to get out before I... And try your best to get all the white covered, but if you don't, it's no big deal. I mean, let's go with the purple again. It's looking really cool, you guys. Can't wait to see what your guys' looks like. I really hope you guys either go to my website and email me your pictures, or yeah, I think that's the only way you can do it. Email me your pictures so I can see them. I'm really excited to see them all. Yeah, so when you use a sponge, the only downside is you can't really get the edges of your canvas with it. Which in a way, I guess, it doesn't really matter because you could just put this in a picture frame and then you don't really have to worry about it too much. Okay, so now this is what mine looks like, you guys. There's mine. I don't know, looks pretty good. So now it's the drying process, and I tell you, I swear this is the part that takes the longest, is waiting for it to dry. And so, actually, I think I'm going to try to dab a little bit more in the blue. Get some more blue on there. There we go, that's better. Yeah, so once you stop and you look at it, and if you see, oh, there's too much white showing through, then you can go back and you can dab some more. And so when you're doing your paintbrush, I just kind of did circular strokes with my paintbrush and then did the middle, but you can go back and forth. You can do any way you want. Just try not to make it turn into a brown mess. You want to have your colors show through. I mean, like this, if you can see in the middle there, brown started to come through because I got it mixed too much. Same with the bottom. Down here in the bottom. And yeah, it was accidental. I didn't mean for that to happen. But yeah, so now I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go clean up my sponges. When you guys are ready, since I'm pausing, you could pause for a moment and go and clean up your... Actually, I don't think I'll pause. I'll just leave it running. And then that way you guys know that, oh, okay, now we can clean up. So we're going to clean up our workstation. We're going to clean up our brushes if we need to. So go and wash your brushes. Water, hot water is all you need. You don't need to use any soap or anything on them. Hot water, rinse them until they run clear. No more paints. And then I always put a towel down. Paper towel can be fine, but I use a regular dish towel I put down, and that's how I do air dry. I air dry everything. So yeah, so now's a good time. Let's pause for a moment. You guys can get up with me and we'll go clean our stuff. We'll come back and check to see if our paint's dry in like a couple minutes, because this is fast drying paint that I've got, and mine looks like it's getting real close to being dry. So I'm gonna go wash my sponges and I will be right back. You'll probably hear the water running. So yeah, go clean your stuff. Get your stuff clean. Okay, you guys, I'm back. I also want to let you guys know that since we're using acrylic paints, it's water-based. It is totally fine to rinse them out in your sink and have it go down the sink. It's water-based. They're non-toxic. They're not going to hurt the environment. Everything is, they're totally fine to do in the sink. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to know that, in case you were wondering, well, how's she cleaning them? It's acrylics, it's okay. Now if it was oil-based paint or enamel paint or like your house paint, you definitely don't want that going down your sink. You'll want to use a bucket, clean it, clean your paints that way, and then dispose of it properly. You don't want to pour it down the drain. You don't want to pour it in your yard. I mean, a lot of people pour it in their grass, but you don't want to do that either. Probably the best way is if you can get a hold of some sawdust, dump it in your sawdust, let the sawdust soak it all up, and then throw it away in the garbage. That's probably the best option to deal with enamel paints, or not paints that you have to use a paint thinner with. So yeah, but it looks like my painting is pretty dry. So now we can move on to the next step. So the next step is I'm going to get my black Sharpie. And if you look here, look at these. I just did little designs, cool designs. If you guys know how to do the puzzle pieces, like draw the puzzle pieces, you can go ahead and make this look like a puzzle. You can do your designs anyway. That way I had them all connected. This way they all came off edges. My canvases are also a little, I'm using the board canvas, and these canvases are bigger than the ones I normally use. I think these ones are 11 by something, 11 by 9, I think. I've been using 8 by 10s. So, yeah, so now we can go on to the putting our cool abstract design on. Super easy, you guys. I'm doing mine on the table. I'll show you it when I'm done. And yeah, so have fun with this. Make your design any way you want. Any kind of design you want. It could be anything. You could even draw out like a picture of something and just leave the colors, your background colors, as the colors of it. Like, you could put in if you know how to draw a cat or a dog or a boat or a car or a bunny or any of those things. You could do swirls, swirl it all the way around. You could put in just a big circle if yours looks like the earth. Big circle. You can call it the earth. And this is your abstract painting. You make your design you want on it any way you want. I'm going to do my design and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So now I'm done with mine. You can sign it with your Sharpie, which I think I'm going to do this time. And so you just turn it whichever way you want. Figure out which way you want up, which way you want down. And I'm going to sign mine. Mine is signed, mine is done. And here's the final product. That's what I did for my design this time. My lines aren't as crisp and good as the other ones. But you know what? It's abstract. And sometimes in abstract, they don't look like they're supposed to. So, I don't know, I like it. I kind of like how it turned out. But yeah, I can't wait to see your guys's. So go to my website and email me your pictures so I can see how they look. And maybe if you guys will allow me to, I can showcase your guys's pictures on my website. So anybody who painted with me right now, or if you want yours showcased, I can showcase yours on my website. So yeah, I hope you guys had fun. I hope, super fast, easy, anybody can be an artist. You just have to, you can draw, even if you can't draw. You can do landscape. You can do this kind of stuff. Yeah, super easy. I mean, it's kind of fun doing something different. Normally I do animals or landscapes. I did some drawings over the weekend. So there's going to be some cool paintings that I'm going to be doing real soon. I've already got orders for people who want one. And they say they're going to buy them, but just donate to me. That's all I'm asking. So yeah, if you want one of these, let me know, and I can I can send it out your way. I just ask for a donation. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to go to my website and follow me over there. The link to my website is in the About Me on my channel. And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, but I realized I keep telling everybody I'm on Instagram and Facebook, but I've got my profiles really locked down so you can't really see anything. So yeah, your best bet would just to be like and subscribe here so you get updates on when I add videos, and go to my website and follow me over there, because anytime I post anything new, you'll get an email, and so you'll be the first one to know about any kind of giveaways I'm doing or anything fun that's going to come up. I'm still waiting to hit that lucky number 25 so I can do a live event. So if you know anybody that enjoys painting or wants to learn how to paint, send them my way. Have them like and subscribe, tell your friends and family, and yeah, we will see you next time. I hope you guys have fun. Have a great Monday.